We are all artists, unique, extraordinary Imagineers, wanting to create. In Lesson 3, we're going to learn more about color and look at other artists that we admire and learn about how they use color.
I'm going to tell you about Joan Mitchell.
Joan Mitchell is my favorite painter. Joan Mitchell was a leading second-generation abstract expressionist artist. Now, the great thing about Joan Mitchell's paintings is if you stand back, you'll just be amazed. In fact, I did a dance in front of her paintings. Every time I'm in a museum, I take as many pictures as I can. It's wonderful that they allow you to do that now. Joan Mitchell had a distinctive palette of green, blue, orange, black, and white, which are her favorite colors. Her brush marks included long vertical brush strokes and thin washes of pastel hues and daubs of impasto, or areas of thick paint and texture. She placed her colors on top of other colors. Her color palette varied from her painting series from a lot of yellows and blues to oranges and combination of different brush strokes. But her work is always recognizable. And studying her color palette is a worthy experiment. Mitchell was often farsighted, and she had to stand back to see her paintings in the greatest detail. And if you view them at a distance, you can see things you really never saw before. Mitchell always made sure to leave her paint chunky and her colors pure and bright. But an interesting fact about Mitchell, she had both synesthesia and a photographic memory. So what is synesthesia? Synesthesia is when you hear music, but you see shapes. When you hear a word or a name and you instantly see a color, or you say a number and you see a color. Synesthesia is a fancy name for when you experience one of your senses through another. For example, you might hear the name Sherry and see orange, or you might read the word art and it tastes like citrus fruit. Many artists like Joan also had a synesthesia, like Vincent van Gogh. Or one of my favorite artists, Wassily Kandinsky, the Russian. He was fascinated by the connection between senses. In fact, Wassily Kandinsky was one of the pioneers and was even accredited as one of the founders of abstract modern art. He was a painter of sound and vision. The idea of music appears everywhere in Kandinsky's paintings. He used counterpoint, which we'll go into more later. He believed shades resonated with each other to produce visual chords of color. But let's get back to Joan Mitchell. She was tough and disciplined and courageous. Her colors were dazzling. Mitchell saw everything in color. She saw people and things in color. And color and emotion were the same to her. I love her color and her brushstrokes. So I encourage you, if you want to learn about color, see Joan Mitchell paintings online and study the way she uses color. Look at the complements and look at the differences and look at the combinations and what color palette she used. She was a master of color. But enough about Joan Mitchell. Let's get back to painting and back to color.
Okay, and I want you to start looking on the web for artists and learn about artists and learn about their style so that you develop your own style.
Yeah.
Anytime you look at someone else's style, like my style, the painting over here, or the one you just saw in the hall.
Who did that?
Me.
Oh. I love that. That's...
You've got to decide, what did you like about it? What can you do similar that you like. If you look at that one really closely, what you'll see is millions of beautiful colors of blues and greens in the water.
Yeah.
Now you want to say, how did she do that? And so when you're in a museum, go up close and say, okay, what did she do to get those millions of colors? Did she use oil paint? Did she use latex? Did she use acrylics? Let me tell you a secret, it's all oil. Okay.
Yeah.
So the most powerful colors that you can use to me as an artist are oil paints.
Yeah.
Okay. But they take longer to dry. They can take years to dry.
Yeah.
Okay. So Galkid it helps things dry.
Okay.
So you add Galkid to oil, not to acrylics. Acrylics has its own faster drying things. If you watch a lot of acrylic artists, they put a wet paper towel or a damp towel out, and then they squirt their paints on top of it, so the moisture stays in the acrylic so it doesn't dry out. It dries out very, very fast.
Okay.
Okay? So let's talk about color for a second. Let's come over here. Okay, we talked that any color that you make, if you have good pigment paints, you can mix any color in the rainbow. If you have the primary colors, which are the red, yellow, blue, are the primaries. The secondary are the two colors that mix, like red and blue should make what color?
Oh, red and blue make purple.
Okay, come on over here. Okay, so here is a red and a blue. A red and a blue, okay?
Yes.
I want you to take a little bit of both and get a palette knife here. You need to buy a good palette knife, but be careful what you're buying and look carefully because these are expensive and you want to take care of them. I've had these for a long time, okay? You can sand them and rub them off and clean them off. Like this, I need to get out my sand and sand it off. Okay. Now, when you lay out paints to paint, normally I like to lay my paints out very similar to a color wheel. But I don't like to do it in a circle. When I'm really painting professionally and working, I will put all of my paints in a line from the darkest to the lightest in colors. Yellows, the different oranges, the different reds, the different blues. And I will even take a big tray, and let's say I'm doing a painting that's got lots of yellows in.
Mm-hmm.
I will just take a tray or a palette that I just mix those yellows in so I don't contaminate it with the other. You see, I'm kind of a messy painter and I get excited. So you want to think about the placement of your colors and you want to think how you pick your colors. So we know that if we have blue and red together, blue and red together should make purple. So we've got basic, I'm not going to show the brand, a basic inexpensive brand of colors. Now I want you to see what happens when you mix a little bit of red and blue together. You should be getting purple, right?
Yeah. And just smear it together over.
Yeah.
That's it.
Keep mixing it. Not far, just all in the same bucket. All in the same thing. Now if we put it over here, what color did it make?
Looks like navy blue.
Right. So how much more red would we have to get till it becomes purple? Oops. Now you're going to add some more red. Let's get carried away and even add more red. What color is that making?
Brown.
Brown. Now, beginning artists will say, damn, Sherry, you told me that I could mix any colors with the primaries. No, you
This
can't.
paint.
You can't if you're using cheap paint.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? So, if you're going to start your painting journey, I want you to explore online what kind of paints you're going to start with. If you're going to start with acrylics, okay? One of the top brands out there is Golden. Another one is Liquitex. Many houses, Windsor Newton, there's many houses that have paints. And I want you to do the search to find out what has the purest pigments.
Purest pigments.
The purest pigments. The brightest yellow. The brightest red. Does that look red to you? No, it looks more orange to me, doesn't it? Okay? But they sold that as red. This is their #1 brilliant red. It says brilliant red on it. Another thing. You know, I told you about buying paints in bulk. Jim, I love him to death, but he has a real problem that he thinks if you buy in bulk, it's better. So he purchased, when we started these lessons, he'd go and he'd go, oh God, there's a gallon of that beautiful pink. I think I'll buy it. So a gallon of pink paint right now could be as much as $78. And so he might have been able to get it for $10. He thinks, wow, it's fabulous. So when we moved here, we had probably 100 gallons. Now let's pretend 100 gallons times $20 a gallon. Well, how much is that, $2 grand?
Yeah.
It is. So what happens to paint in the winter?
I guess it dries up.
It freezes.
It freezes. Oh.
And it breaks apart. And then it's no longer good. So what do you think about all that paint that Jim has in the storage bin?
Froze.
Bad. So we can try to use it for stuff. And we are getting a more of a purple color.
Reddish.
A more reddish color. Okay. But you got to think about the colors that you're mixing and the colors that you buy.
And really think about what kind of paint you want to use before you get into color. When we ended our second lesson with Kathleen, we had a painting with many colors across the canvas, and we created those by mixing different colors, and we painted upright on the wall. Now we put the painting down on the table, and we are simply pouring paint mixed with water, acrylic paints mixed with water, and latex paints mixed with water on top of these base colors. Kathleen then poured orange paint across the surface of the canvas and began spreading it around using a squeegee or a card to move the paint. Kathleen spread the paint across the surface of the canvas. It was very thin, making it somewhat transparent so she could see the colors below. Then she was ready to add more color.
So if you don't want it to go that way, you have to make it stop.
Oh, okay.
Got it? Cool? Okay. Put the paint down over there. Grab your blue. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to pour a little bit here. Over here so we can see the excitement of the day. Okay, just a little bit. Okay.
More?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Cool. Stop. Now, I want you to pick up the edge of the canvas and tilt it to where the paint, which direction you want the paint to flow. Don't get carried away. Stop. Come over here. Tilt it that way a little bit.
You are in control of the paint. Make sure you direct the paint where you want it to go, either by tilting it, scraping it, brushing it, or pouring it. It's your painting. Have fun.
You're controlling it. Stop. Go gentle. Go gentle into the night. Okay, stop a second. Now stand back and look at it. Is that cool or what?
Cool.
Is that really cool?
Yeah.
If you don't like something, you can go like this. You can control it. You can splash it. You can make it splitch. You can scrape some of the color away to let something come through. You can make it bigger. Now, wait, stop a sec. See here? You want your paint to come off the edge, so make this.
Blend it.
Now, this is oil, okay? So when you're using oil, it doesn't mix with water, does it? So you gotta. We'll have to clean that with turpentine, okay? So this is oil. We got to remember this is turp, so I'm going to set it over there. Is that the coolest thing in the land?
That is so cool.
Is that cool?
Yes.
You might want to take a little bit off over this way so you have a pretend.
Y?
Yeah.
Learning.
So you actually have a Y here and here And there. Go. Here's the little brush. Is there anything you don't like?
About the painting?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I feel like there's so much orange.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it needs some other colors to balance.
Okay. Since you have a lot of orange, okay, you can wait, okay, because you can't now mix.
Right.
So you're going to have to let this sit here and dry. And when you come back, if you want less orange, it's going to actually get lighter because it's going to fade.
Okay.
Okay. And you'll be able to come over it with your colors and cover up some areas.
Okay. I love that color though, that bright orange.
You might come back and go, God, it's so strong.
Yeah.
Kathleen really had a ball pouring paint and adding different areas of color. And then it was time to just pause for a while and look at the painting and think what we wanted to do on the next lesson. I know you're excited, but you're going to have to wait for lesson 4 to see the outcome of Painting with Kathleen. This is Cheryl Johnson. Be sure to subscribe and come back so you can see part 4. What might be nice is to
I might want
just
to cover up my name a little bit more.
so pour a little orange over there. Just a little. Or you could pour a little blue, whichever you prefer. Which one would you like? Blue or orange?
Maybe I'll try the blue since there's
Okay.
a lot of orange.
Okay.
Although that might not cover it up as much.
It will because it's opaque, remember?
Oh yeah.
This ends lesson 3. Looking forward to seeing you at lesson 4. This is Cheryl Johnson. Pursue your passions and have more joy every day.